The Morning Show with Mr. G and Paul Stone. The talk of the Treasure Coast. 1590 WPSL.
You better believe it, 8:11 now. We've got a live, on the phones anyway. Laura O'Brien of the St. Lucie County Civic Center has joined us. Hey, Laura, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. Long time no hear from. What you guys been doing over there?
We have been so busy, and we're having so much fun. Everybody's got to come out tonight for the Port St. Lucie Community Band's concert. Holiday Spectacular. There's still time to buy tickets. You need to call in to 772-807-4499 to get yours. Tickets are only $7 in advance or $8 at the door. Doors open at 6:30, and the show goes on at 7 o'clock.
And, of course, people, just in case you've never gone to the the Civic Center, the city of Port St. Lucie, man, this Port St. Lucie Civic Center is awesome. I mean, there's all sorts of rooms and everything when you go in to the right where, you can rent the rooms out for conferences and so and so. But when you make a left, there's a whole new world with the gym and all sorts of things. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. For a very, very small membership fee on a monthly basis, you can go month to month, or you can just walk in for the day, and then you can enjoy the game room. They've got everything: foosball, air hockey, pool tables, everything you can think of in there to entertain you. Or you can step down to the gym and do a little workout, or play some hoops. We have open gym quite a bit in the double gymnasium we have. We also have racquetball courts and just about every class that you can possibly think of. Zumba, spinning, yoga, everything that you'd want to take advantage of, which is included in your monthly fee. So everybody needs to come out and check out the Port St. Lucie Civic Center, and we'd love to give you a tour.
Right on. And it's the website, cityofpsl.com. And go there, and you can see this. They're lovely. I mean, it's right the US 1 and pretty much Walton. You see the big area over there. That's officially. I mean, I think that's unofficial. Maybe it is official. Downtown. That's downtown Port St. Lucie, isn't it? Isn't that what we're calling that?
That's what we like to think of it. And soon we'll have even more construction out there. Just keep your eyes out. Things are moving.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much for calling, Laura, and we'll talk to you next week, I guess, for more the further adventures of the city of Port St. Lucie and, of course, the Port St. Lucie Civic Center. Lots of things going on there. Again, go to the website just to see just what's happening, cityofpsl.com. Make sure you check that out. 8:14 now. We'll be right back. Sunrise Theater has something special going on. Ann Satterley has joined us right now. And Ann, just so you know, I am still clapping from last week's concert with Dave Koz. I've been clapping all week for no apparent reason. People look at me and go, "What the heck are you clapping at?"
Well, I'm glad to hear that. It was a wonderful show, wasn't it?
I just saw him yesterday on. He was on the Wendy Williams show. He and Simpson, Valerie Simpson were on there, and because I guess they were in New York. They were in New York City last night. But Ann, I mean, I try to see Dave Koz every time he comes to town, but this year it was just fabulous. It really was.
It was over the top. It was a great show and a great kickoff for the whole holiday season.
It really was. And Ann, thank you for making that happen, of getting that saxophone signed. I mean, you were
my pleasure.
That was so
Glad it
cool.
worked out.
Well, and it was, I mean, he didn't even have to do the whole video thing. He even videotaped himself signing. I'm like, go on, Dave Koz. What a great guy.
Yeah, super nice guy.
So what's going on? I know we've got something going on this Thursday.
Yes, we do. We have not on Thursday, do we?
Not Thursday.
How about Friday?
Friday. There you
Saturday.
go. Yeah.
Thank you. I thought, well, maybe I've lost my mind.
Anna's like, what the heck is he talking about?
I'll just go with it. Yeah, we've got something. I don't know what it is. But we've got the St. Lucie Ballet going to be presenting their annual Nutcracker on both Friday and Saturday evening. And, of course, we've got Comedy Corner coming up on Saturday night. The Oak Ridge Boys are going to be at the Sunrise on Sunday. And then we're going to have Garrison Keeler there next Thursday for a fun-filled evening of his little stories and anecdotes. So we've got something for everyone. And, of course, then we've got the Nutcracker towards the end of the month. And, you know, when you're thinking about holidays and you don't know who to buy for or what to buy because they're just kind of difficult, Think about a gift certificate from the Sunrise. That really makes a lot of sense. It supports your local theater and gives somebody the opportunity to come see a great show. And oftentimes, folks have never been to the Sunrise, even though we've been open for 11 years now.
Wow. And I was just down there. We were doing a live broadcast from the public defender's office, and while we were there, I think this was Monday, something was going on at the theater all day long. There were tons of buses loaded up there. I think it was what show was that? There was something.
That show was the Peking Acrobats. We did a school time performance for local school children to come in. They come in by bus and see an hour-long performance. And it was from local schools, homeschoolers, and all of that. There were probably about 1,000 kids there.
You better believe it, man. That place was jumping. I'm like, wow. I mean, they had the streets all blocked off and everything. I'm like, wow, who's the president here or something? But
That's right. You never know who could show up in Fort Pierce at Sunrise.
And you know what was interesting, too, because I could see some of the performers over above the Sunrise Theater looking out the windows, taking pictures of all the kids below. I'm like, wow, they're the performers, and they're taking pictures of them.
That's right. And it was a great show that evening. We had the full performance, and it was just a wonderful show.
Okay, well, some great things coming in. Of course, we're looking forward to Ron White in January. And I mean, there's just everything. There's all sorts of things going on at the Sunrise Theater.
There certainly are. And check out the website. It's always up to date for all of our shows and everything else that we have happening. We're going to be adding more throughout the season. So don't think this is just going to be it and there's not going to be anything else added. More shows to come.
You got it. SunriseTheater.com is the website, folks. And feel free to call the box office Monday through Friday between 10 a.m. and 4. Their number is 772-461-4775. And as always, thank you for calling. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. G.
Talk to you next week. That's Ann Satterley of the Sunrise Theater. And Paul knows I'm still clapping from the Dave Cross show last week, man, because that was one fabulous show. It really was. Let's send this over to Paul now for these stories.
Good morning. It's 8:20, 72 degrees now. Time for the news in 1590 WPSL. 75 years ago today, the U.S. lurched into World War II after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. CBS' John Blackstone is at Pearl Harbor, where ceremonies have already begun.
It's 1590 WPSL's Your World in 60 Seconds.
Beyoncé with 9 Grammy nominations, followed close behind by Drake, Rihanna, and Kanye West, each having 8.
The president delivering a national security speech at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa.
ISIL has lost more than half its territory.
President-elect Trump returning to some of the states that were key to his victory.
The U.S. Supreme Court sides with Samsung in its long-running patent fight with Apple.
Despite what's being called an imminent and specific threat against a rail hub in Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti says the credibility is still being assessed.
We will have the necessary forces around and near and in our public transportation system.
Arrested and jailed in New Orleans, the man who fatally shot former NFL player Joe McKnight during a possible road rage dispute, Ronald Gasser, who was initially released, is charged with manslaughter.
On Wall Street, the Dow rose 35 points to close at another record high.
And those are the stories making national news this hour. Let's have a look now at the precious metals market. Gold is at $1174.30. That is up 0.25%. And silver up 0.30%, coming in at $16.86. The precious metals markets have been brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coins, trading in gold and silver bullion and all U.S. coins since 1994.
And now from Studio 3BA, let's talk sports with Paul Stone.
Well, just came into our sports facility here, Willie Taggart, the USF head coach, will be leaving the Bulls to become Oregon's new head coach. And finally, Florida cornerback Jalen Tabor was selected the All-SEC first-team defensive as voted by the coaches on Tuesday. Guard Martez Ivey, defensive tackle Caleb Brantley, linebacker Jared Davis, defensive back Quincy Wilson, and punter Johnny Townsend were all second-team selections. That's it, G.
I think we just found the worst Christmas gift of the year. Nordstrom just came out with a product called the Medium Leather Wrapped Stone. Now, it's a small stone in a leather pouch, just a 3-inch rock in a sleeve. It'll cost you $85.
And what does the rock do for you?
It does nothing. They describe it as a paperweight, a conversation piece, a work of art is up to you, but it's sure to draw attention, I guess, wherever it rests. There's no word on how it's selling.
Kind of like a pet. Remember years ago, the pet rock. Rock.
But did it cost $85?
No. Well, that's inflation, G. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Some random facts for your Wednesday, Paul. In the 1700s, people thought the platypus was a hoax. I guess just like we think Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. People just thought it seemed too ridiculous that there was a venomous animal, which, firstly, I didn't know it was venomous.
Didn't either.
Venomous animal with a duck's bill, an otter's feet, and a beaver's tail.
Mixed up, dude.
That is an ugly creature, a duck-billed platypus.
I would trade that, though, for the pythons we have around here.
Did you know helium doesn't increase the pitch of your voice? It just amplifies the higher-pitched frequencies that are already there?
Well, that's changing your voice. I mean, you know.
It doesn't increase the pitch of your voice, though. I guess it's been 48 years, Paul, since a movie won the Oscar for Best Director, but nothing else. The Graduate did it in 1968.
Mrs. Robinson.
This is interesting. Thomas Jefferson's wife died before he became president, so their daughter was the first lady.
Well, the first lady in the house, I guess. The only lady in the house.
And there, just don't look now, Paul, but there are approximately 200 different types of fungi on your feet right now. So
really?
Cut your feet off.
Well, yesterday you were talking about bugs in our cereal. Gee, what's going on?
We're just nasty.
News, traffic, sports, and morning show funnies. The talk of the Treasure Coast. 1590 WPSL.
The Supreme Court has ruled that Samsung did not violate Apple's patent on smartphone technology. Did not. Yeah. The justices said it's clear that Samsung came up with the idea of a phone bursting into flames all by themselves. It's been announced that the CEO of Lego will be replaced. Yeah, the CEO of Lego is going to be replaced. The new CEO's head is being snapped on as we speak. Hey, did you hear this? This week, this is news, Donald Trump is going to North Carolina, Iowa, and Michigan, all states that voted for him, as part of his thank you tour. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Then he comes here to California for his You Dead to Me tour. Chris Christie has a real fall from grace on his hands. Did you hear about this? Yeah. According to a new poll that just came out, only 19% of New Jersey residents approve of Governor Chris Christie. 19%. Yeah. And they're all restaurant owners.
Good morning. It's 8:47, 72 degrees now. It's time for the final newscast of the morning show on WPSL.
I'm listening to the morning show.
Yeah, bro.
1590 WPSL.
Yeah.
The talk of the Treasure Coast.
Back in the day, Paul.
Okay, G. Well, 75 years ago, of course, in 1941, the Japanese launched a surprise attack in the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor, forcing the U.S. into World War II. And 208 years ago, in 1808, James Madison, the father of the Constitution, was elected the fourth president of the U.S. 180 years ago, in 1836, Martin Van Buren was elected the eighth president of the U.S., making him the first president who actually was born a U.S. citizen. He was called the Little Magician because he was only 5 feet 6 inches tall. But then that was still taller than James Madison, who was just 5 feet 4 inches tall and 100 pounds.
You know, went to Philly and took the kids on vacation one year, and we went to Independence Hall, I believe it is, and they've got all the statues of, all the President Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin and all those, and everybody was small in those days except Washington. He was he was a giant
compared to those.
Compared to everybody else, everybody was smaller in those days, Paul.
47 years ago, in 1969, Frosty the Snowman first aired on TV. Frosty's voice was provided by comedian Jackie Vernon. Didn't know that.
Me neither.
44 years ago, 1972, America's sixth and final moon mission, Apollo 17, took off from Cape Canaveral, Florida. 32 years ago, in 1984, Vince Neil of Motley Crue crashed his 72 Ford Pantera in Redondo Beach, California, killing his passenger, Nick Razzle Dingley of Hanoi Rocks, whatever that was, G. 23 years ago, in 1993, Guns N' Roses announced they would keep a Look at Your Game Girl on their album. The Spaghetti Incident, even though it was written by Charles Manson, because the royalties would not go to Manson, they went to a son of one of his victims.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 19 years ago, G, in 1997, 82-year-old Anthony Quinn married his 30-something secretary, Kathy Benvin at
Anthony
a private
Quinn.
ceremony in Naples, Florida. After fathering 2 of her kids, they were together until he died of cancer in 2001. He fathered 13 children with 3 wives and 3 mistresses.
Wasn't he Greek?
Well, Anthony Quinn was quite the Mexican. He was born Antonio Quinones.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
No,
I thought he
I'm-
was
I'm-
Greek, but
I'm trying to think of a movie he was in.
It says-
Anthony Quinn.
he was
I can see his face.
yeah.
He was in a lot of stuff. though,
War
right?
movies and things like that. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's it for us, Paul.
Have a good day, G.
The WPSL Port St. Lucie, your CBS News is next, followed by Cliff and Swap Shop. Make sure you join us. Florida Community Bank. The Westwood Chorale will be singing for our Christmas Kids show today.